Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a time when the world is trying to pull you down at every turn, everywhere you look. There are voices telling you that you're not strong enough, not smart enough, not good enough. They tell you to give up, to surrender to the pressures of life, to bow before fear, anxiety, and despair. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to live that way. You don't have to make yourself weak. Weakness doesn't come from the outside. It's not the storms of life that break a person. It's what's happening on the inside. It's not the weight of trouble that crushes you. It's when you decide in your heart that you can't stand anymore. It's when you let fear, doubt, and hopelessness take root in your soul. But you were not created to be weak. You were made with a purpose. You were built to stand strong, to fight the good fight, to endure through trials, and to come out victorious. Look around and you'll see people who have chosen weakness. They have let the world's troubles defeat them. They have surrendered to their fears, given into their failures, and now they live in chains they put on themselves. But you don't have to follow that path. Strength is not in your circumstances, it's in your spirit. It's in your willingness to rise every time you fall, to keep moving forward when everything inside you says to quit. What makes a person weak? It's when they fill their minds with negativity, when they listen to voices that tear them down instead of lifting them up. It's when they feed their fears instead of their faith. It's when they stop believing in their own strength and start accepting defeat as their destiny. But you don't have to live in that prison. You can stand up today and declare that you will not be weak. You can choose to walk with confidence, to reject the lies that say you are not enough. Hard times will come. Struggles will try to shake you, but don't let yourself become weak. Hold on to what is right. Stay strong in the face of adversity, and refuse to bow to anything that seeks to break your spirit. Because when you choose strength, when you stand firm no matter what comes your way, nothing in this world can defeat you. The world tries to pull you down. Society and circumstances constantly challenge your strength, but you don't have to give in. Weakness is a choice, not a destiny. Life's challenges don't make you weak. Giving up on yourself does. Strength comes from within. Your spirit, not your circumstances, determines your ability to stand firm. Fear and doubt are the real enemies. They creep into mind, convincing you to surrender before the battle is even fought. Negative influences can weaken you. Listening to voices that tear you down leads to self-doubt and defeat. Hard times are inevitable. Struggles will come, but they don't have to define you or break you. You were created to be strong. You have the power to endure, fight, and rise above adversity. Failure is not final. Strength is in getting back up every time you fall, refusing to accept defeat. Your mindset determines your strength. Feeding your faith instead of your fears builds resilience and confidence. Choosing strength requires action. Stand firm, reject negativity, and push forward no matter the obstacles. Nothing can defeat you if you refuse to give up. When you commit to staying strong, no storm, trial, or hardship can break you. Life is full of struggles, obstacles, and challenges. At times, the weight of hardships may seem unbearable, and the temptation to give up can feel overwhelming. But true weakness is not the result of life's difficulties. It is the result of surrendering to them. Weakness is not forced upon us by circumstances. It is a choice we make when we decide to stop fighting. The world often teaches us to view ourselves as victims, helpless against the storms that come our way. We hear voices telling us that we are too broken, too tired, or too unworthy to rise above our problems. But these are lies meant to keep us down. No matter how great the challenge, no matter how painful the trial, we always have a choice to keep standing or to let ourselves fall. Strength is not about avoiding hardships. It is about refusing to let them define us. History is filled with stories of people who overcame impossible odds. They faced rejection, loss, failure, and suffering, yet they refused to be weak. They could have given up. They could have accepted their circumstances, their fate, but instead they chose to rise. Strength is not found in comfort or ease. It is forged in the fire of adversity. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger, to prove to yourself and the world that you will not be broken. But many people give up too soon. They let fear and doubt control their lives. They convince themselves that they are not strong enough, not capable enough, not good enough. And in doing so, they make themselves weak. They allow their struggles to become chains instead of stepping stones. But if you recognize that weakness is a choice, then you can also recognize that strength is a choice. You can choose to get up, to push forward, to refuse to be defeated. Strength is not about never feeling pain or fear. It is about moving forward despite them. It is about choosing perseverance over despair, hope over doubt, and courage over fear. Even when you feel like you have nothing left, even when every part of you wants to quit, you can still choose to take one more step. And then another. And another. That is how strength is built. That is how battles are won. The truth is, you were never meant to be weak. You were made to stand tall, to fight for what is right, and to overcome. The power to be strong is already inside you. You just have to claim it. No matter what has happened in your past, no matter how many times you have fallen, today is a new day. You have a choice. You can give in to weakness, or you can rise up in strength. So stand firm. Refuse to be defeated. Refuse to let life's hardships make you weak. Choose strength. Choose resilience. And when the storms come, as they always do, you will stand tall, unshaken, and victorious. Strength is not found in wealth, status, or the absence of hardship. It does not come from external advantages or an easy life. True strength is something deeper. It is something that comes from within. It is not your circumstances that define your ability to stand firm, but the power of your spirit. Many people believe that if their problems disappeared, they would be strong. They think that if they had more money, more support, or fewer struggles, they would finally feel secure. But strength is not about what you have or what is happening around you. It is about what is inside you. Some of the strongest people in history endured the most difficult circumstances, yet they refused to be broken. They did not allow their hardships to define them. They stood firm not because life was easy, but because their spirit was unshakable. Think about a tree in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, and the storm tries to tear it down. But if the roots of that tree run deep, it will stand firm no matter how fierce the storm. In the same way, if your strength comes from within, no trial, no challenge, no hardship can destroy you. The storms of life may shake you, but they will not break you. But too many people live as if their strength is dependent on their circumstances. When things go wrong, they collapse. When hardship comes, they lose hope. They are like a house built on sand, easily washed away by the waves of trouble. They have spent so much time looking for strength in the wrong places that they do not realize it was inside them all along. Strength is not something the world gives you. It is something you must find within yourself. This does not mean you will never feel weak or discouraged. There will be moments when you feel exhausted, when you question whether you can keep going. But that is when you must dig deeper. You must remind yourself that no challenge is bigger than the strength that is already inside you. Strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the ability to stand tall in the midst of it. And the more you choose strength, the stronger you become. Every hardship you endure, every battle you fight, every challenge you overcome makes you even more resilient. Strength is built through struggle, through perseverance, through refusing to quit when life gets tough. So no matter what you are facing, do not look to the world to make you strong. Do not wait for your circumstances to improve before you decide to stand firm. Strength is already within you. You just have to claim it. Dig deep, stand tall, face every challenge with a confidence that you will not be defeated. And when the storms come, as they always do, you will not be shaken. You will not fall. Fear and doubt are the real enemies of strength and success. They do not come in the form of visible obstacles or physical barriers, but they creep silently into the mind, whispering lies that make you question yourself. Before the real battle even begins, fear and doubt try to convince you that you have already lost. And if you believe them, you will surrender before you even step forward. Fear tells you that you are not strong enough, not smart enough, not capable enough to overcome the challenges ahead. It makes you focus on everything that could go wrong, paralyzing you into inaction. Instead of taking bold steps forward, you hesitate. Instead of believing in yourself, you listen to the voice that says you will fail. Fear magnifies your weaknesses and blinds you to your strengths. Doubt works in the same way. It makes you question your abilities, your decisions, and your purpose. It causes hesitation, making you second guess every step you take. Doubt whispers, what if you're not good enough? What if you try and fail? What if people judge you? And as these questions grow louder, they drain your confidence and make you feel powerless. But here's the truth. Fear and doubt have no real power except the power you give them. They are illusions, tricks of the mind, meant to keep you from reaching your full potential. Fear only has control over you if you allow it. Doubt can only hold you back if you let it. The strongest people in history felt fear, but they refused to let it stop them. They felt doubt, but they pressed forward anyway. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not the absence of fear, but the courage to move forward despite it. Think about a warrior preparing for battle. If he lets fear consume him before he even steps onto the battlefield, he has already lost. But if he silences the fear, focuses on his training, and moves forward with determination, he gives himself a chance to win. The same is true in life. If you let fear and doubt control you, you will never see what you are truly capable of. But if you confront them, refuse to listen to their lies, and take action anyway, you will discover a strength inside you that is greater than anything standing in your way. Fear will try to stop you. Doubt will try to weaken you. But you have a choice. You can either surrender before the battle begins, or you can stand up, push past the lies, and move forward with confidence. So do not let fear steal your dreams. Do not let doubt hold you back from your purpose. No matter what challenges you face, walk forward with boldness. Even if your knees shake, even if your heart races, take that first step. Because on the other side of fear is victory. And once you defeat fear and doubt, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. The voices you listen to shape the way you see yourself and the world around you. Negative influences are everywhere. People who discourage you, doubts that creep into your mind, and a world that constantly tells you that you are not enough. If you allow these voices to take root, they will weaken you, filling you with self-doubt and ultimately leading to defeat. Some of these voices come from others. People who tell you that your dreams are impossible, that you are not talented enough, that you will never succeed. They may not even mean to harm you, but their words create a weight that drags you down. They plant seeds of doubt in your heart, making you question whether you are capable of achieving what you were meant to do. But the most dangerous voice is the one inside your own mind. When you listen to negativity long enough, you start to believe it. You tell yourself, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should just quit. And once you start to believe these lies, you weaken yourself. You no longer step forward with confidence. You hesitate. You hold back. And eventually you stop trying altogether. Negative influences can come in many forms, not just people, but also the things you consume daily, the books you read, the news you watch, the conversations you engage in, and even the thoughts you entertain can either build you up or tear you down. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, it will poison your mindset. But if you choose to fill your mind with encouragement, wisdom, and truth, you will grow stronger, more resilient, and more confident in your purpose. You must guard your mind and heart. Be careful about who and what you listen to. Surround yourself with people who uplift and challenge you to be better. Seek out voices that inspire confidence, not fear. If someone constantly tears you down, discourages you, or belittles your dreams, they are not helping you, they are weakening you. And if you allow their words to control you, you will never reach your full potential. This does not mean ignoring constructive criticism or pretending that challenges do not exist. Growth often comes from correction and learning from failure. But there is a difference between those who push you to improve and those who want to see you fail. Learn to recognize the difference and do not allow negativity to have power over you. You have a choice. You can either listen to voices that bring doubt and fear into your life, or you can choose to tune them out and focus on the truth that you are capable, that you are strong, and that you have a purpose greater than your struggles. So do not allow negative influences to weaken you. Protect your mind. Choose to believe in yourself even when others don't. Keep pushing forward, because the only way to be truly defeated is to let negativity win. And you have far too much strength, far too much potential to let that happen. Life is filled with ups and downs, victories and setbacks, joys and sorrows. No one is exempt from hardship. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you have accomplished, hard times will come. Struggles are a part of life, but they do not have to define you. They do not have to break you. Many people believe that if they face difficulties, it means they are failing. They think that struggle is a sign of weakness, that obstacles mean they are on the wrong path. But that is not true. Hard times are not a sign that you are failing. They are a sign that you are living. Every strong person you admire, every success story you have ever heard, includes challenges, trials, and moments of doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not the absence of struggle, but how they respond to it. You can let hardship define you, or you can choose to define yourself in the midst of it. Some people allow struggles to make them bitter, angry, or hopeless. They let pain harden their hearts and steal their joy. But others use hardships as stepping stones. They take each challenge and turn it into an opportunity for growth. They refuse to let their struggles break them. Instead, they allow them to make them stronger. Difficulties test your character. They reveal what you are truly made of. Anyone can stand strong when life is easy, but real strength is shown in the fire of adversity. It is in those moments of struggle that you discover how resilient you truly are. You find out that you can endure more than you thought possible, that you can rise after every fall, that you have the power to push forward no matter how hard life gets. Pain and suffering are temporary, but the strength you gain from overcoming them lasts forever. Every time you face a challenge and refuse to give up, you build endurance. You become wiser, tougher, and more prepared for whatever comes next. The struggles of today prepare you for the victories of tomorrow. So when hard times come, do not let them define you. Do not let them break you. Face them with courage, knowing that they are only temporary. Choose to rise above them. Choose to keep going even when the road is difficult. And remember this, every storm eventually passes. The pain, the struggle, the hardship, it will not last forever. But the strength you build in the process, the character you develop, and the person you become, that will last a lifetime. So stand tall. Keep moving forward. Do not let hard times defeat you. Because in the end, it is not the struggles that define you. It is how you overcome them that truly matters. You were not created to live in fear. You were not made to shrink back in the face of hardship. You were created to be strong no matter what you have been through, no matter what obstacles stand in your way. The power to endure, fight, and rise above adversity is already within you. Strength is not something given only to a select few. It is not reserved for the naturally gifted or the privileged. It is a choice, a mindset, a fire that burns within those who refuse to be defeated. Life will throw challenges at you. You will experience loss, failure, disappointment, and hardship. But none of those things have the power to break you unless you let them. Some people spend their lives believing they are weak. They think that because they have struggled, because they have fallen, because they have faced difficulties, they are not strong. But that is not the truth. Strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the ability to keep moving forward in spite of it. The very fact that you are still standing, still fighting, still pushing forward, that is proof of the strength inside you. Think about all the moments you thought you wouldn't make it, the times you felt like giving up, yet here you are. You have overcome more than you realize. Every challenge you have faced has prepared you for the next one. Every hardship has made you wiser. Every failure has taught you something valuable. And every pain has built a resilience inside you that nothing can destroy. You may not feel strong all the time. There will be days when you are tired, when the weight of life feels too heavy to carry. That is normal. Strength does not mean never feeling weak. It means choosing to keep going even when you do. It means refusing to let fear control you, refusing to let doubt define you, refusing to surrender when things get difficult. You have the power to endure. No storm lasts forever. The hardship you are facing today is only temporary, but the strength you build in the process will last a lifetime. You have the power to fight. Do not accept defeat. Do not let the voices of doubt, fear, or negativity tell you that you are not capable. Stand your ground. Fight for your dreams. Fight for your future. Fight for the life you were meant to live. You have the power to rise above adversity. No matter how many times you fall, you can always rise again. No matter how dark the road may seem, there is always a way forward. Strength is not about never falling. It is about always getting back up. So do not let life convince you that you are weak. You are created to be strong. Walk with confidence. Face every challenge with courage. And never forget, you have everything you need inside you to overcome, to rise, and to win. Failure is not the end of the road. It is not a permanent mark of defeat. It is not a sign that you should give up. Failure is simply a moment, a lesson, a stepping stone on the path to success. Strength is not found in never failing. It is found in getting back up every time you fall, refusing to accept defeat. Every great success story is built on failure. The people who achieve the most in life are not those who never fail, but those who refuse to let failure define them. They fall, they stumble, they make mistakes, but they do not quit. They understand that failure is a part of growth, a necessary step on the journey to greatness. But too many people see failure as the end. They let one setback discourage them. They allow one mistake to convince them that they are not good enough. They let one closed door make them believe that their dreams are impossible, and so they stop trying. They give up not because they are incapable, but because they believe the lie that failure is final. But failure only wins if you let it. It only has power over you if you refuse to rise again. The strongest people are not those who never fail, but those who keep going despite their failures. Every time you get back up, you become stronger. Every time you refuse to quit, you build resilience. Every time you push forward after a setback, you prove to yourself and the world that you are not easily defeated. Think of a child learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they struggle to find their balance, but they do not stop trying. They get back up again and again until they master the skill. If they gave up after the first fall, they would never learn to walk. The same is true in life. If you give up after one failure, you will never reach your full potential. Failure is not a dead end. It is a detour, a lesson, a redirection. It teaches you what doesn't work so that you can find what does. It humbles you, strengthens you, and prepares you for the challenges ahead. Every failure brings you one step closer to success if you are willing to learn from it. So, do not fear failure. Do not let it discourage you. Do not let it define you. When you fall, get back up. When you make mistakes, learn from them. When you face setbacks, keep pushing forward. The only true failure is giving up. As long as you keep going, as long as you keep fighting, as long as you refuse to accept defeat, you are still in the race. Remember, failure is not final. It is not the end of your story. It is just a chapter. And if you keep turning the pages, you will see that the best is yet to come. Keep rising, keep fighting, and never, ever give up. Your mindset is the foundation of your strength. It is not your circumstances, your background, or even your physical abilities that determine how strong you are. It is the way you think, the way you believe, and the way you face challenges. If your mind is filled with fear, doubt, and negativity, you will weaken yourself before you even begin. But if you feed your faith, if you choose to believe in yourself and the purpose set before you, you will build a strength that nothing can shake. Fear and faith cannot rule your heart at the same time. One will always overpower the other. If you constantly feed your fears, you will find yourself paralyzed, afraid to take risks, afraid to step out, afraid to fight for the life you were meant to live. Fear will drain your confidence and make you see every challenge as an impossible mountain. It will whisper lies that tell you you are not good enough, that you will fail, that you should just give up. And if you listen to those lies long enough, they will become your reality. But faith works the same way. When you choose to focus on faith instead of fear, you begin to see the world differently. Instead of obstacles, you see opportunities. Instead of setbacks, you see lessons. Instead of impossibilities, you see possibilities. Faith strengthens you from within, giving you the confidence to move forward, even when the road is uncertain. It reminds you that no challenge is bigger than your ability to overcome it, that no failure is final, and that you were created to stand strong. The question is, what are you feeding? Are you constantly filling your mind with doubt, fear, and negativity? Or are you strengthening your mindset with truth, confidence, and faith? The answer will determine the course of your life. A weak mindset will cause you to give up before you ever reach your potential. A strong mindset will give you the power to endure, to rise, and to win. You must be intentional about what you allow into your mind. Surround yourself with people who encourage and uplift you. Fill your heart with words that build confidence rather than tear it down. Instead of dwelling on your fears, focus on your strengths. Instead of expecting failure, expect victory. Train your mind to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow. The more you strengthen your mindset, the stronger you become. Strength is not just about the body. It begins in the mind. When you believe in yourself, when you refuse to be ruled by fear, when you stand firm in the face of challenges, you will find that you are far more powerful than you ever imagined. So choose today to feed your faith. Choose to silence fear. Choose to build a mindset that fuels your strength rather than weakens it. Because the moment you take control of your thoughts, the moment you decide to believe in the power within you, is the moment you step into the strength you were always meant to have. Strength is not something that simply appears when you need it. It is not something you are born with or something that magically arrives in the midst of hardship. Strength is a choice. It is something you decide to embrace every single day. Choosing strength requires action. It requires you to stand firm, reject negativity, and push forward no matter what obstacles stand in your way. So don't give up. Don't lose hope. The pain you are experiencing today is not the end. It is part of the process. Hold on to God, trust His plan, and believe that one day you will look back and see how He used your pain for something greater than you ever imagined. He is not finished with you yet. Trials shape your character. Pain can make you bitter or better. God allows struggles not to break you, but to strengthen your faith, develop wisdom, and prepare you for a greater purpose. Every trial, every hardship, and every season of suffering carries within it an opportunity, a chance to grow, to learn, and to become more like Christ. We live in a world that often seeks comfort and ease, but true strength is forged in the fire of trials. The Bible reminds us in James 1:024, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." God is not interested in making life easy. He is interested in making you strong and shaping you into the person He created you to be. Think of Joseph once again. He had dreams of greatness, but before he could step into his destiny, he had to endure betrayal, slavery, and false accusations. Each trial refined him, humbled him, and taught him to trust in God's timing. When the moment came for him to rise to power, he was ready, not because life had been easy, but because he had been tested and refined in the fire of adversity. Look at Moses. He was called to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. But first, he had to endure rejection, isolation, and 40 years in the wilderness. It was in that season of waiting and hardship that God molded him into the leader he needed to be. Had Moses gone straight from Pharaoh's palace to leading the Israelites, he would not have had the wisdom, patience, or reliance on God necessary for the task. The wilderness was not a delay, it was preparation. Even David, the man after God's own heart, had to endure years of running for his life before he became king. He was anointed long before he was appointed. His trials taught him humility, courage, and dependence on God. Without the struggles, he would not have been the leader God intended him to be. And then there's Jesus, our greatest example. Though he was the Son of God, he endured rejection, suffering, and even death on a cross. He could have avoided the pain, but he chose to walk through it, knowing that his suffering had a purpose, to bring salvation to the world. If even the Son of God was shaped through suffering, how much more will we be refined through our trials? So what does this mean for you? It means that whatever you are going through right now is not pointless. The pain, the waiting, the struggles, they are shaping you, they are making you stronger, wiser, and more dependent on God. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and realize that the very thing you thought would break you was actually preparing you for your purpose. Do not let trials make you bitter. Let them make you better. Trust in God's plan. Hold on to His promises. And know that He is using every challenge to shape you into the person He created you to be. He is not finished with you yet. Rejection can lead to redirection. When people hurt or abandon you, it may be God's way of leading you towards something greater. Sometimes rejection is a blessing in disguise. It may not feel like it in the moment. The pain of being cast aside, overlooked, or betrayed can cut deep, leaving you wondering if you are forgotten or unworthy. But what if the very thing that hurt you was actually God's way of moving you into His perfect plan? Throughout Scripture, we see examples of men and women who faced rejection only to discover later that it was a divine setup for something greater. Joseph was rejected by his own brothers, sold into slavery and left for dead. But had he not been rejected, he never would have ended up in Egypt. Had he not been falsely accused and imprisoned, he never would have met the people who connected him to Pharaoh. And had he not met Pharaoh, he never would have risen to a position of power where he could save his family and an entire nation. What seemed like rejection was actually redirection. Look at Moses. He grew up in Pharaoh's palace, yet when he tried to help his fellow Israelites, he was rejected by them. Forced to flee to the wilderness, he likely felt like a failure, as though he had missed his purpose. But it was in that wilderness that God called him to something greater, to lead His people out of Egypt. The rejection Moses faced pushed him into the very place where God would prepare him for his destiny. Then there's David, anointed as king when he was just a shepherd boy. Yet, instead of stepping into the throne immediately, he was rejected by King Saul, hunted down and forced to hide in caves. He could have questioned why he was going through so much when God had already chosen him. But in those years of rejection, David was learning to trust God, to rely on Him, and to develop the heart of a true leader. When the time was right, God elevated him to the throne stronger and wiser because of what he had endured. Even Jesus Himself was rejected. The very people He came to save turned their backs on Him. He was mocked, beaten, and crucified, but His rejection was the very thing that led to our salvation. What looked like the ultimate defeat was actually the greatest victory in history. His suffering opened the door for grace, redemption, and eternal life for all who believe in Him. So what does this mean for you? It means that when someone walks away, when doors close, when you feel abandoned, do not despair. It may hurt, but it is not the end of your story. Sometimes rejection is God's way of moving you out of something that was never meant for you. He may be protecting you from something you cannot see. He may be preparing you for something greater. You may be in a storm right now, but storms don't last forever. The sun will shine again. One day you will look back and see that every tear, every battle, every broken moment was part of God's perfect plan to bring you into something greater. So don't give up. Don't let pain make you bitter. Don't let trials shake your faith. Victory comes through faith. Hold on. Stand firm. Keep trusting because God is still on the throne. He is not finished with you yet. And if you trust Him, if you surrender to Him, one day your story will be a testimony that inspires the world. May God bless you, strengthen you, and remind you today that your pain is never wasted. He is turning it into something greater than you could ever imagine. Amen.